as I have been documenting that despite anyone's theological quarrels, theological scruples, that man of 7th century Arabia, the Arab to whom the Qur'an descended, the Arab to whom the Qur'an descended. That Arab, that man was a true Arab, which means he was black. White Arab is oxymoronic. It's an oxymoron. Arab, by definition, was black-skinned. In late pre-Islamic Arabia and early Islamic Arabia, one knew who was an Arab and who was a non-Arab by the complexion of the skin. Arab, pure Arab genealogy was signaled by blackness of skin. The blacker your skin, the greater claim to genealogical purity you can make. White-skinned people in Arabia were automatically assumed to be 1, foreigners, and 2, slaves. Because newsflash, and again, Bilal perpetuate the false Bilal paradigm perpetuates another myth. The fact of the matter is, most slaves in Jahili or pre-Islamic Arabia and in early Islam for over a century were white. Most of the slaves in Arabia were white slaves. There were black slaves there, there was some of everybody there. But the largest slave class, in fact, there was one slave class in Arabia, and it was not a black slave class, it was a distinctly white slave class. White skin signaled foreign slave status in Arabia, notwithstanding the myth perpetuated by the false Bilal paradigm. But that Muhammad, if he was an Arab, he was black. And though I won't get into that today, we delivered a whole discussion yesterday on the ethnicity of the Prophet Muhammad according to the classical Arab tradition. Hear what I said? I said according to the classical Arab tradition. I didn't say according to my black Muslim brothers' theology. I didn't say according to Message to the Black Man. I didn't say according to theology of time, though in my book, God's Black Prophets, half the book treats Message to the Black Man and theology of time. See, but yesterday my focus was on the classical Arabic tradition. And according to the classical Arabic tradition, it's very clear. That man was a black Arab. He was a pure Arab, black skin. But as I have been documenting this consistently, Bilal is the source of difficulty for being able to comprehend this fact that Muhammad could have been black. Bilal is again the troublemaker here, but not poor Bilal himself, but what Bilal has been made into and the service to which Bilal is always conscripted always causes mischief. And so with Muslims, black Muslims, so-called African American Muslims, Bilal is the difficulty factor in understanding that Prophet Muhammad was not a Persian. Because the description, the canonical, the orthodox description of Muhammad in the Muslim world today, and the orthodox depictions of Muhammad in the Muslim world today, is distinctly, unmistakably Persian. Why? Because the Persians authored them. A fact I will speak more of shortly. But we can't leave Bilal yet, because Bilal is just a source of so much mischief. Again, not for Bilal, but the false Bilalian paradigm. And so Bilal becomes the difficulty in conceiving the prophet as being black. Why? Because we assume that there was some juxtaposition of Bilal's blackness to Muhammad's whiteness by the prophet himself. And so, for example, this is a Persian, by the way, Iranian devotional image of Muhammad. But as I documented yesterday, this 20th century modern Iranian depiction of a Persianized Muhammad is very consistent with some 10th, 11th, 12th century Arabic description of Muhammad. In other words, you find this Persianized Muhammad not just in modern Iranian iconography, but you find it in classical Arabic literature. Why? We explained that yesterday, the Aranization of Islam. We'll say more of that in a moment. But here, Bilal. I should be off of Bilal momentarily. But it is often objected that Bilal is the evidence that Muhammad could not have been black.